as you're aware, Doctor Who is made by the BBC, so we never really saw any adverts when we're watching it unless you live overseas, which must be really irritating. However, there are some fantastic Doctor Who related adverts for products or other products that have used the Doctor Who brand. And I thought it would be quite funny to take a look, because I don't think you've seen many of these.
No, I've just gone off what the BBC's given us, and that's no adverts really, just a cheeky trailer now and then.
His TV only still has BBC One and BBC Two, so you know it's not hard to believe.
I have a Fire Stick, it's fine. I have money-ish.
So we're going to look at basically a mix of them, and they're roughly in sort of chronological order. I've just handpicked a few. There's loads more, and if this goes down well and you want us to do some more, then we'll do some more. But I've picked a couple of sort of the most iconic ones. For different Doctor Who products or things like that were aired on other channels. And then I've left a very special one to the end, which I'm praying you haven't seen, because it's one of the weirdest... You've got to take it as a product at its time, but let's just say it's not aged well. And anybody watching, I know certain people will probably know what this is. So anyway, the first one we're going to look at is a Doctor Who advert for the Sky Rays, which is basically just a lolly that's shaped like a rocket. So anyway, enjoy this.
Rocket lolly.
Doctor Who skate this time.
That can't be safe.
By Wool's U-shaped Skyray with double flavours of raspberry and orange. And you get a free colour picture card. One of a series
Look at that.
Showing Doctor Who and the Space Raiders battling with Daleks.
Bloody hell.
Free when you buy Wool's U-shaped Skyray. Only 6 months.
Only 6 months. Now, for 6 months, does that push your buttons? Would you like an ice lolly with a free colour?
I mean, his blood is boiling
I would
out.
love an ice lolly.
I'd love an ice lolly right now.
I would love an ice lolly now.
That was definitely a 60s advert.
It was indeed.
That screams 60, and look, we've just invented colour TV, so let's have some fun with this.
I did love whoever's playing the Doctor there is clearly based off Patrick Troughton, but I love the Dalek sparkler things as well. Like that wouldn't be health and safety. Yeah, that's...
Oh God, no.
God, no. But that was good fun. Now we have one for the Dennis Fisher range of Doctor Who toys. Now this one's quite funny because I think these were really the first kind of action figures they did, and the likenesses are interesting.
Okay.
And luckily they tell you who you are, because otherwise I wouldn't have had a clue for some of them. So anyway, this is the Dennis Fisher advert.
That's not Tom Jones. That's not Tom Baker. Wow. Who's... Oh, it's Leela.
I mean, she looks like she's just come out like... I don't even know. Look at that, £4.25. What a bargain. Obviously, there was a lot of money back in those days, but... those figures do make me... Like, we've got an actual advert now in between the adverts. That's ironic, isn't it? But those figures do make me laugh, though, because they're fun. And, like, obviously, when you've got nothing else, they are, they're going to be fun. I don't know what the TARDIS thing that could turn around and disappear.
They've done that for a lot of, cool. Like, Star Trek and stuff like that. They've done that with a lot of toys.
Yeah.
It's quite cool.
But it is quite funny, because they're very similar to the sort of, like, the adverts we get for the New Who figures and everything. You'd be like, here's Doctor Who and his companion, and I think...
Will they escape the Daleks? Who knows? Only you can tell.
Yeah. Now, this next one isn't necessarily a Doctor Who product, but it does star Peter Davison, and it was from 1983, so it's bang in the middle of his run as the Doctor, and he's advertising pans, and that's all I'm going to say, because it's brilliant.
When I pay good money for saucepans, I expect them to last. Haven't you? Now, Prestige Lifetime is guaranteed to last 10 years, and that means thousands of hours on your cooker with a little time in the washing up. That's why only Prestige Lifetime has stainless steel bodies, solid copper bottoms, and real teak handles. Excuse me.
You can put the dinner on. I'll be home in 20
They weren't far off. I mean...
It's Lifetime, only from Prestige.
I mean, I love the fact that it's his actual wife, Sandra Dickinson, being like, put the dinner on, I'll be home soon. Because it's the future of the 90s, where obviously everyone was wearing leather.
And flying cars.
And it's bold, I'll give them that.
That's interesting.
It certainly is. I mean, as pan adverts go, I think it's all right. I don't watch many of them. So.
No, that screams daytime TV.
It does. That's
kind of teleshopping stuff.
Yeah. Oh my God, can you imagine if there was like a teleshopping skit like on JVC or whatever it's called? That would be brilliant. This one was never aired now, this next one. This was for Hamlet Cigars. Now, You don't get adverts for cigarettes anymore for
No.
obvious reasons.
No.
You're
They're not allowed to be used as sponsors for
not allowed
sports companies at
Yeah,
all.
they just exist in their own world and people just buy them because they've addicted to them and that's it. However, there was a brilliant little advert to entice you to smoke with a Dalek.
Oh, I forgot they could have the light change and stuff.
Still better than Eve of the Daleks.
Yeah.
Look at the way the eye stalk's blinking. I mean,
That's interesting.
would that entice you? Does that, if you were a child watching that, would you think, oh, I'm going to start smoking now? Like,
No,
behind
because
the
I would have been
bins?
scared of the Daleks back then because they were blooming terrifying when they were young. When I was younger.
Would you be, see, if that were me, I'd have been straight behind the bins in school, you know, puffing on a couple of Hamlets. Which does sound like a euphemism, actually.
Yeah.
That's sort of for the classic era or wilderness years. There's definitely loads more we can pick up, but there's hundreds of them out there. But
I
now
remember one.
We're going to
of
pick
these.
up some that are very nostalgic to us because I remember every single one of these being on the telly.
I remember that. I remember the second one in that list.
Step into another dimension and discover the new
Kids rob my hair.
edition, a DVD game that's bigger on the inside, with a galaxy of real Doctor Who clips that test your knowledge, trivia questions, and puzzlers from the first 3 series, including
There's 3 series.
Seen It Doctor Who edition, now available on Planet Earth.
See what they did there? Now available on Planet Earth. That is what we call comedy.
Yeah.
Did you ever have that Scene It game?
No, I remember playing it as a kid though.
I
My
did.
mate used to love playing it, so I was happy to play it at the time.
Do you want to talk into the microphone?
Yeah, I never owned it, but my mate always had it at his. We'd always go around and play it. It was always good fun.
Yeah, we had it, and it caused many arguments between my brother, my sister.
Me.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, to be fair, it used to cause like full on rows with us when we were little.
So it's like your family's version of Monopoly.
Yeah, essentially, people argue over Monopoly. We never played Monopoly. It was just Doctor Who Seen It that we was like swinging to each other and everything. Like, aye.
The game ended with the board flipped over and the pieces missing.
Yeah,
Fair.
kids crying like Doctor Who Day. Board game day's ruined.
Thanks, son's crying now.
Literally. This is for probably one of my favourite pieces of merch from Doctor Who as a child. And it's the advert. It's just brilliant.
In the Dalek Empire, we've got a menacing Dalek
I had one of these.
with frightening Dalek phrases, a voice changer synthesizer, and terrifying sound effects. Become as
Why are they all moving like they're on a platform? Like they're being pushed. They're not walking normally.
they
They're
are.
being like.
I honestly think they were.
That is. I mean, you can't.
That was a great toy, though. It was great fun.
I love
Just
it.
stick yourself up in the window with that, and you just freak the crap out of people walking past.
I used to have all the voice changer helmets. I think I still do. They're somewhere in my.
I had
they're
the
somewhere back
Cybermen
home with my
one.
parents.
I had
all
the
of them.
Cyber Leader one. I remember
The
that
brain.
very much. Yeah.
I had that one as well. I had the normal Cyberman. I think the only one I didn't have was a Jadoon one, but I had the I even had the Dalek Sec one
Oh, nice.
with the like tentacles and everything. But it wasn't really a voice changer. You just sort of it just echoed you because Dalek Sec's voice didn't really change. But the Dalek ones I remember being really excited for. And I think I got it one. I think I used to see the adverts all the time. I was like, can I have one? Can I have one? And I think I got one for Christmas one year. And the voice changer, even though it blew my mind, I was like, doesn't really sound like a Dalek though. It just sounds like a general sort of like toy voice changer. But it didn't matter because I was like, ha, I'm a Dalek, wait.
See, I had whatever voice changer helmets are coming out for stuff I was watching. So be it Doctor Who, I even had Star Wars once.
Yeah.
So I had on my wall, I had a Cyber Leader, Dalek, Clone Trooper, and I really
Not
wanted
sponsored.
I really wanted the Jadoon one, but I couldn't get hold of it.
Yeah, I never found Jadoon. I did have the Jadoon scanner though.
Yes, so did I.
That you could write. But there was a pen because all the sonic screwdrivers and stuff used to be pens as well, didn't they?
Yeah, they had like invisible ink that would only show up under the light
Yeah,
of the...
that was the invisible ink one.
Yeah.
Ah,
And
good
a
times.
sonic pen. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I don't. See, my dad still has the majority of all the sonic screwdrivers in their boxes.
Oh,
And
they'll be
everything.
worth money soon.
Oh yeah, they are now. Like, but I was, I a child, I like to run around. I went through sonic screwdrivers all the time. I used to break them. So every time every time I got a bit of money, like for birthdays or Christmas or everything,
Doctor Who.
I would buy the sonic screwdriver. I've got like most of them now, but I don't break them as much.
I haven't got 13s.
I've got 13s.
I've got a very knackered 10s and I've got 2 of 12 Doctors.
I only have got the one of 12s because I had to import it from Australia because I couldn't get it anywhere. No one was selling any on eBay or anything. So I had to get one from Australia. It took about 6 months to arrive. I forgot about it at one point. It literally turned up. I was like, what the hell is this? And I opened it. I was like, ah.
Did you ever have a pair of Sonic glasses?
I don't think I had Sonic glasses.
No, that was one I kind of wanted.
Did they ever do Sonic glasses? Or were they
I
just
think they did.
I can't remember.
I think they did.
I mean, I would have been too old to be buying the toys at that point. I would have been about 15 when the Sonic glasses were on, so it wouldn't really...
No, you're never too old. I definitely did not buy a Sonic Screwdriver a couple of years ago.
I know, I still buy
20s.
them. Like, I mean,
Oh,
I wouldn't have bought the glasses and,
Played with them.
Yeah. One of the ones I did like, though, there was the merch. Did you ever have it? It was like they were like the sort of, when we were young, laser tag things were a big craze.
Ah, yeah.
And do you remember you had the sonic screwdriver and the laser screwdriver from the Master, and you had the little top profane target thing, and you could either shoot the target or each other, and you zap each other. That was hours of fun. See, I didn't need anything like internet as a child.
Oh no, we had fun.
Toys.
We generally just made things up and had fun with it.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a much better way of living than they have nowadays, and I think.
I can see you puffing on a pipe or something there. Back in my day.
Sat there in the armchair, dressing gown on, glass of whiskey in the hand. Back in my day, my young boy.
He's not even lying. This is exactly what he's like after 8 o'clock at any party.
I don't sit in my dressing gown, thank you very much.
You sit in an armchair, fall asleep, go, back in my day. Oh.
I do fall asleep. I am always tired.
This is true. I might put a video in here now. This is just a very typical... This is like the sort of evolution of the Dennis Fisher advert.
The 11th Doctor has arrived with his new companion, Eddie Pond, and new sonic screwdriver. He's confronted Hawthorne and the terrifying Smilers. Exterminate! And saved planet Earth from a new race of
RC Daleks, yeah.
Our weeping angels
What a
returned to the
throwback.
maze of the dead, but they were no match for the Doctor. Doctor Who action figures and
I
accessories.
broke that when I had it.
I remember the 11th Doctor screwdriver genuinely being really like...
Popular.
It was tacky.
great.
It was really cheap. I had it for about a couple of days, and genuinely it already started going loose, and I was like...
Because considering in the show, like, you're going to he goes like wham, and it comes out, and it's just like, well, you're going to want to do that as a kid, aren't you?
I had one that was quite
I
dodgy.
did that, and it went flying out. I
thought that was
what?
just me, because I had one, and every time you sort of like press the button, but if you press the button and sort of gave it a bit of a flick with your wrist, it just shot off, and you'd be holding like the bottom bit, and the other one be the over there, and be like, oh great, it was like a Christmas Carol cosplay now,
Yeah.
because the other bit's all the way over there. That was fun.
Yeah.
Do you the remote control Daleks I used to love? I used to have the proper big one, the Dalek second.
Oh, I never had a big
I don't know
one.
why I'm pointing to the floor. You can't see, but it was genuinely it was about like this big, and you used to be able to control it, and you had like noises, and you could make it talk. And I used to annoy everyone with that. I literally just be sat there in the living room, just driving it around. People watching the telly, and I'd be like, "Exterminate, exterminate! We are the master." All that. So much fun.
Yeah.
We had a K9 one as well.
I had a Victory of the Daleks one.
Yeah,
See,
I never
it
had
was
the
it was
little ones.
the Army Man one, not the naughty
I had a
little
figure
Paradigm
of, just
Daleks.
a figure of that. I didn't have the remote control one. I used to have loads of the figures. They must be at my parents' house somewhere because I had basically all of them that were coming out at the time. I only really sort of stopped when I started growing up a bit, and they started doing the really small figures that they were only sort of like that big. I was like, I didn't see the point in them. I like the normal sort of what are they, like the 5-inch ones or whatever.
Yeah, I did have a Cyberman keyring charm thing, but the longer I had it, the more wrecked it got.
Oh.
So it's no longer with me, unfortunately.
I keep saying this, but this was probably my favourite bit of Doctor Who merchandise in the entire world. This was the coolest thing I ever had.
The challenge to create the ultimate sonic screwdriver. This amazing set includes 3 sonic screwdrivers.
Oh, I remember this coming out.
With over 80 combinations, including multiple lights and sound effects. Have hours of fun with the Doctor Who plus Nigel sonic screwdriver set.
From character.
Do you reckon they still sell them?
You can get them online and stuff, but they're very, very expensive. But I remember I had just bits and like bits would go missing, and then one would turn up, and you could have basically what it was. It was like a sort of like a core, had just the button on and you put it into these different casings, and then you could press like multiple times. And you had like, there were loads of sound effects. It wasn't just the sort of normal ones. There was like whistles. You could pretend you were scanning something, or like a laser. Mate, I had hours of fun.
Yeah. No, I think I would have done this well.
They were genuinely. If I could get one of those now, again, I've still got the bits and pieces as well. I could probably make a screwdriver's worth. There's some bits have just gone missing and, you know, people being chucked out and stuff. But if I could get another box of them right now, I absolutely 100% would. I say that with no shame.
No, I think I would as well. I'd just sit in my room playing with it for hours.
Yeah. I'm leaving that in. Finally now, this last one is a corporate video. So this wasn't like a TV advert or anything. This was used for different companies to sort of go around and sell different things to each other. And then this one is John Pertwee. It's from 1981. So it's about 6 years or so since he left 7-8 years since he left the part. In character, helping people sell washing machines. And it has probably the worst aged line of Doctor Who at the end. And I'm not going to say any more. But you're going for a treat.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm suddenly scared.
It's
It's the Doctor.
Who?
Oh, wow.
I've just returned from Zanussi, and I brought back something big.
Oi.
What is it, Doctor?
5 years Zanussi cover.
that is big. Like it's a monolith essentially.
Including parts of labour.
For 5 Earth years?
It must cost the Earth.
Not at all. £11.50 for a fridge or a freezer, and £28.75 for a washing machine or a dishwasher. Look at these prices. Even less than some manufacturers' 1-year schemes.
How can they do it, Doctor?
A bit risky, isn't it?
Boris, tell them how Zanussi does it.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So the customer doesn't have any worries for 5 years.
Exactly.
And what happens if for some reason it does break down?
The customer simply rings up the nearest network centre.
What's in it for the trade, Doctor?
That's the biggest thing to hit white goods in years.
Well, isn't that exciting? The white
fair.
goods is not.
Sales means more profit.
Oh, I went.
I'll write it in. What's more, the dealer has the option of selling 5-year cover as an extra on top of the product price, or he can include it in the price. Either way, Zanussi will support it.
Tell us, Doctor, how is Zanussi going to launch it?
By a massive TV campaign.
How very meta. I mean, I don't know where the third Doctor all of a sudden has got the powers of like a god where you can just magic things into thin air.
Spooky dooky stuff.
It's not canon, I'm telling you.
And labour. Yeah? How much? Washing machine, 29 quid. Fridge, 11.50. How did I do it? Reliability economy.
Isn't that Mickey Pierce from Only Fools and Horses?
That will be seen in 20 million homes at least 5 times starting May the 4th.
What about people that don't watch television, Doctor?
They will not escape.
This ad will be run during May, June and July in all the national newspapers. And will be read
I mean,
by
this is
40
just
million
like-
adults at least 6 times. There'll be dealer ads.
Can you imagine this as a Dragon's Den pitch? Like, they'd all be there like, what? What do you want about? I'm out.
A leaflet
Wow.
in every machine.
How can I get in on this one?
Make sure you are well stocked with Zanussi appliances. Make sure you are using all the support material.
Oh, this is painful.
You haven't seen anything yet.
What the scheme is and how it works. What it covers and how much it costs comparatively.
Your commitment to the scheme will sell more appliances now and in the future. That means more profit. Remember, this isn't just a one-off. It's forever.
Doctor, before you go, one question.
Yes?
Where in the galaxy is Zanussi?
Show us your tips and I'll tell you.
like I said, not exactly the most modern advert. You... I think we've killed Tom.
Oh, I weren't expecting that. I was expecting bad, but I weren't expecting that.
This is very much when I first saw it. That was my reaction as well.
Wow. That's aged terribly.
Mm-hmm. Like, I know 1981 wasn't exactly like yesterday, but it wasn't like the Dark Ages either.
No.
It was, this isn't like the 40s or the 50s or anything. But yeah, the Doctor just gave someone a big speech about white goods insurance and then asked a woman to get her breasts out. Which is not something we thought we'd be doing on this channel. But I think that is a perfect way to leave this first look at adverts. Mostly because I think Tom's going to need his asthma pump very soon. And I hope he's got it with him. Otherwise, if you see me next week on the channel, you know why.
Oh, Christ.
But anyway, thank you very much for watching as always. Keep subscribing. Those have been going up recently. We're very, very grateful for that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we're probably going to come back and do another load of these because this was good fun.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll ever top that one though, but
no.
Still. Share it around,
yeah, like, share and subscribe, please.
Yeah, and make sure you get your white goods insurance, but don't ask where's the noose is, because you won't like the answer.